Nice.
What have you been up to?
So, shall we do Loki?
Yeah. I wasn't sure if you wanted to do that first, to be honest.
I might as well get over and done. So we spoke in detail last week because we basically covered like 4 episodes in one last week.
Yeah.
So what's the final episode? What did you think?
So I think there was some interesting stuff with this. They did kind of wrap it up, which is what I wanted. But they also did a lot of the stuff that we criticised already, in that they repeated a lot of shit they'd already done.
Yeah.
That was pretty much what this was again. Because they try the walking down the runway thing to do the plug-in thing.
Yeah.
I really liked that Victor Timey just exploded and then they tried to undo it 100 times. I quite liked it when it was like centuries later. I'm like, okay.
When they started doing the time loop, I was like, that's quite fun. Time loops are fun. But they talked about some of the fun time loops. They didn't show them. And I was like, the fun part of doing a time loop episode is you see all the fun little things.
Like, don't put it down, it'll roll off and you'll die.
Yeah, they just kind of skipped past all the fun ones. And I was like, oh, okay.
And then it turns out that it's going to be an infinitely growing multiverse, which means that they'd never be able to do it, like fix it. And the reason why it resets it all is because it's intended to do that and there's supposed to just be the one. So it's basically just like they were all doing the wrong thing the whole season and they should have just destroyed it. But if they destroy it, then all the Kangs will show up. And that's kind of what's supposed to be the big problem of it. And then they went, everyone loved that bit at the end of season 1. So we'll just do a whole episode of that again when they talk at the end of time.
Yeah.
But somehow it's not as interesting, because Jonathan Majors He Who Remains is being more normal than before. I thought he was like weird and interesting.
I thought I liked him being like, oh, how many times have you done this kind of stuff?
Yeah, when it's that kind of reveal that and then it's like Loki doubles back on him and goes, well, I've already got the powers to ding dong. It's like the chimes of time. Yeah.
He's already done I think it was an okay ending to a pretty poor season.
I mean, why did the time radiation give him new clothes, or did he just go, it's time for a makeover?
Time for a makeover, I think.
I mean, that's pretty Loki, isn't it? But
yeah,
I just, you could see that kind of thing coming. They were talking about you need to sacrifice yourself and all this, and we hear a little bit of, but like there were so many loose ends. Like Renslayer went to the place where you get eaten by a big ghost or whatever.
Yeah.
But did she die? I don't know.
It's just there.
Owen Wilson stands across the road from his duplicate and acts like a weird creep.
Yeah.
Then the TVA is just running, but they're good guys now.
What are they doing?
Yeah, I don't know. Because the whole point... I actually don't know.
What?
And Loki is now instead... just
He Who Remains, essentially,
kind of, but
he's also the loom.
But he's the loom. I thought there was a really funny line when they're doing the wrap up, and I think was Sylvie there for the wrap? Yeah, she's there.
Yeah,
she's like, it's weird that Loki's not here, isn't it? And I'm like, yeah, it's weird. We've had about 10 minutes of bit where he's not in it, and it's his show.
Yeah, although some would say that Loki hasn't been in it since they started season 1. And that's this other guy.
Well, he's gone now anyway. So that's
yeah,
it was weird because it did kind of wrap it up, and I'm glad that it kind of seems like they're not going to do a season 3.
Yeah,
because
I don't think I'd watch a season 3.
I don't think you'd watch it at all.
No, because I was thinking like maybe the one thing that convinced me was getting really good reviews and people online were raving about it, but people were raving about this season and it was fucking shit. So
yeah, I don't think it was like complete trash, but I just didn't love it. I mean, it was kind of trashy, but I don't think it was like bad.
See, yeah, and I accept that I'm probably in the minority of this, but I think it annoyed me.
I think certain things is. I
showed you the thing before we started recording about how episode 5 was like thrown away and rewritten in like one weekend, and it's like episode 5 was poorly written.
I just think I think on the face of it, a lot of it was more enjoyable than if once you started digging into it, it just didn't hold up and just didn't hold water. Yeah. And a lot of that came to, like, I came into the discussion last week quite positive.
Sorry.
No, but it's quite interesting but also because I've been watching it weekly, whereas you watched it pretty much all in that one session.
The middle 4 episodes in like 2 days.
Yeah. So I feel like that highlights, because there's certain things like, why is the loom like you could even treat these why is the loom
why is the loom that is season 2 in a nutshell. Why is the loom?
And also, was the loom even in it before?
I don't know,
because I felt like when they introduced it, they were like, this is the loom, it's the most important thing ever, and I was like, is this, are you just soft launching this now in season 2, or have I forgotten what it is? And I still don't know.
I think I forgot a lot of season 1, to be fair.
But I just feel like there's a certain amount of hand wavy sci-fi stuff you can do in shows like this, and they did it too much, but they also tried to make things seem important too much.
Yeah, and
I couldn't tell what was important and what was hand wavy sci-fi stuff.
Yeah,
a lot of it was both, which doesn't really work.
And things like hand wavy sci-fi stuff is fine in like Doctor Who or Star Trek, where they've been doing hand wavy sci-fi stuff for like 6 years. But Marvel's always kind of pretended to be above that. Like, even with all the sci-fi stuff with Iron Man or Hulk and stuff, they tried to be like, oh, here's the actual reason for this.
Even with Endgame, when they did the quantum time travel and stuff, they made a bit of an effort to talk about
they tried to make it real.
And then it's annoying because then in this, like, Loki spends centuries learning about quantum physics or whatever.
Yeah, that's another thing. So he spends centuries doing this time loop and doesn't change one bit. Anytime you ever see a time loop thing where somebody's doing the same thing for centuries, they're a very different person by the end of it.
He's more serious for one scene, okay? And he says a few things that ripped from Doctor Who about reversing the flux capacitor.
But like, it's such a hand wavy, centuries have gone.
Yeah, because that's the kind of thing they get, and I'm like, oh my god, centuries later, that's so cool. And then you're like,
It literally, it could have been days, it could have been weeks, it could have been years, it wouldn't have made any difference.
I do think there was some quite good face acting from Tom Hiddleston when you can see that he's really like, okay, this is finally the time. And there was some quite...
Yeah. That final time when actually Timely gets there and it's like, oh yeah, no, they've actually done it. And then they're like, oh no, it didn't work. And I was like, this whole thing they've been doing this time loop for centuries just doesn't work. Yeah. What the fuck is that?
I know. Well, that just kind of speaks to the whole thing, doesn't it, really? There was a lot of like putting a lot of faith in something that just turned out to be nothing. And I guess that's the moral of the story, isn't it?
It's season 2. Why is the loom? Put your faith in something and it's nothing.
Yeah. Well, once again, I feel terrible about it now. No, I thought it was okay. I mean, his outfit was shit. I quite liked his big horns, but he was wearing a weird little robe thing. He looks stupid.
What's next? It's Echo, isn't it?
Echo, which, you know...
And then Echo. Yeah. That should be fun.
I'm quite interested.
Did we speak about that on pod?
I think during our Loki discussion last week, I just suddenly went to that trailer. That's I think I want to say 5 episodes for some reason, but they all come out at once, so that's fun. So we can all complain about it together at the same time.
Yeah, and then forget about it like the week after.
I may or may not have seen that people have broken down the trailer and spotted some familiar faces in there. So
fair enough.
You know,
I have not seen that, so
no. But I'm sure you'll see it when it comes out.
Yeah,
maybe. Maybe I'll watch it and tell you what I think about it. And if you want more stuff like this, check out the Project on all podcast providers.
It's pretty good.
Project.